3. When silence faces back. They say every journey changes a man, but I didn't know I'd lose parts of myself on this one, parts I'd never get back. With only my drum, Mama Ejike's charm, and the whispers of old stories to guide me, I began collecting the watchers. The first stool was in a crumbling library in Akwuru, hidden beneath broken shelves and termite-eaten scrolls. Its face was masked with spider webs, but it was warm, breathing. I didn't touch it with bare hands. I used white cloths soaked in river salt. It trembled when I lifted it. A soft groan escaped from his wooden belly like it didn't want to go. The second was in a shrine overtaken by wild goats in Udene. The villagers said it had been there since their great-grandfathers, but no one dared go near it. It faced the bush, almost ashamed. When I wrapped it, the leaves stopped rustling. The third was harder. It was already awake. I found it in a home in Agbalu, sitting proudly in the parlor like a guest. A young woman named Nkem had been using it as a reading chair. I arrived too late. Her eyes were no longer her own. Her voice echoed with voices not born of this time. "It's too late to turn me," she said, smiling gently. "I've already faced the world." I knew then I had to bring both her and the chair. I wrapped her in white linen embroidered with the seal of silence. The charm Mama Ejike gave me flared when I touched her shoulder, and for a second a real self blinked through. She whispered, "Hurry, before he remembers the rest." We continued, chair after chair, village after village. By the sixth, the sky turned strange. By the seventh, animals began to cry at night, as if the world itself felt something gathering. The final one, the eighth watcher, was back in Obodo-Ume, buried deep under the palace kitchen. My uncle had once told me, never walk barefoot near the kitchen's back wall. That's where the ground listens. When I returned, the Oba was waiting. He had aged in just weeks. His eyes no longer held command, only worry. "It is beneath us?" he asked. I nodded. It took 6 men and 3 elders to dig. We reached it just before dawn. It was different, bigger, darker, heavier. Its face was not carved, it was real. A face etched into black wood, a mouth open mid-scream, no eyes, no ears. But I could hear breathing from it. The moment we touched it, thunder cracked across a clear sky. He had remembered. Nnochi, the memory that waits. I didn't sleep that night. None of us did. By morning, I had all 8 watchers set in a wide circle in the palace square. Each faced inward, towards the center only they could see. I stood in the middle, drum tied to my waist. The elders prayed. Mama Ejike arrived barefoot, humming an ancient lullaby I had never heard before, but my bones recognized it. "Begin," she said. I raised my hands. The rhythm I played was not one I had been taught. It came from the stools, from the ancient beats that echo beneath memory. Each drum beat awakened something. Wind, dust, crying from nowhere. The sky turned the color of ashes. The watchers began to shake. And then he came. Nnochi did not walk. He poured. A massive shadow erupted from the earth and towered over us, limbless, voiceless, just eyes, millions of them, rolling and blinking across a body made of darkness. "You should have left me in silence," it roared, not through voice, but thought. The elders screamed. Some collapsed. The Oba wept. But Mama Ejike stepped forward. "You were never meant to stay," she said, raising a calabash filled with salt water and blood. "Return to your hunger." She threw it at the center of the circle. Light exploded. The watchers screamed, each stool groaning like it had a soul being torn out. I kept drumming. I couldn't stop. The ground cracked. Roots twisted around my feet. Blood oozed from the cracks. My skin peeled in parts. My ears bled. But I kept drumming. Then the shadow cried out, not in pain, in rage. It lunged, but the watchers flared. Each stool shone with the memory of who had once sat on them. Kings, warriors, mothers, slaves, dancers, and they held him back. One final beat. Boom. Nnochi was torn apart, sucked into the space between the eight stools. A loud silence followed. Deafening, the shadow vanished, gone, forever. And the stools, they cracked, shattered, not into wood, but into sand, fine dark sand that scattered into the air and vanished. The sky cleared. The people rose. Mama Ejike looked at me, eyes soft. You've closed the memory. I fell unconscious. For 3 days I slept. When I awoke, my drum was beside me, split clean, down the middle. Mama Ejike was gone. No one ever saw her again. The Oba decreed a new tradition, the festival of the silent circle, to remind the kingdom that memory is not always a gift, and some doors are best kept shut. As for me, I left Obodo-Ume, not in shame, but in reverence. I now travel with no drum, just silence and a warning. If you ever see a stool facing the wall, walk away, don't move it, don't touch it, and whatever you do, don't let it remember your face. The end. Bye. See you next time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment.